Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can you answer in the chat if you're hearing me? I see there are 5 people currently watching the webinar now. Can you send a hello if you are there? Oh, we're gonna wait some time until we start because more people will join the webinar. And today, basically, we're gonna be talking about the 10 lessons that will help you to boost your career and to overcome your career challenges, to become a better engineer, to have a promotion, for example, to improve yourself as a software engineer. Can you say hello in the chat? I see there are 5, 6. So just say hello and say where you're from. Also, take advantage of this time to ask questions about your career challenges and everything that you need. So say hi, guys. Someone of the 4 who are watching, now there are 6. If you can say hello and help yourself, ask something. Hello, Suboptimal, welcome back, man. If you have any question now, take advantage of this time, because since we are not having... Hello, Thomas. Yeah, nice to see you as well here. Awesome. Okay, so if you have any questions, like I said, let me know. And also say where you're from, guys. So introduce yourself to everyone else so the others can know you as well. So it's, you know, that in our software development area, it's very important to create real connections and to do networking. So if you can make connections, you can improve and you can go to the next level in your career. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Nor. You all are welcome here. Okay, so Baltimore, you're from Germany. Nor, where you're from. Danielle, I know where you're from. You're from Brazil. Who else? Where you're from, Nor? And also, guys, take advantage of this time. Ask questions about your career challenges. Maybe we can answer some of them now while we are waiting for more people to join us. And then we can start the presentation. But you can take advantage of this time. Ask me questions. If you're going through any challenge in your career, ask it now. Ask whatever challenge you're going through. Okay, who else is here? Say hello. There are 8 people now watching. So say hello, guys. So until now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people said hello. So if you didn't say hello yet, say hello. So that's why we can get to know you. You know that creating connections in software development is a key move in our career. So if I get to know you, it's good for your career. And if I get to know you, it's good for my career as well. Hello, Marco. Nice. Where are you from, Marco? Don't be shy, guys. Say hello. And and we're gonna just wait a little bit more until we start the presentation. Yeah, we have 7 people now. I know it's a very hard time now, so I know it's difficult for people to join at this time, because I know that most of you are working right now. So I recognize that I can prepare. Okay, my thoughts about Spring Boot. It's a really strong framework, Nico, that tends to keep on growing. And if you are a Java developer, I totally recommend you to go deep into this framework, because in most of the companies, they are using Spring for microservices development. For example, Netflix, they use Spring. Not only Netflix, but many other big companies are using Spring, so it's worth it to invest in it. But I would also recommend you to invest your time in Quarkus, because I feel like it's a great tendency for the market to start implementing Quarkus, since it's a lightweight programming stack where you can run Java applications easily in serverless, in the serverless architecture, or in microservices. So you can build really powerful code with Quarkus. So I would recommend you to invest your time in Quarkus as well. But Spring is still a very good bet. Spring is still very powerful in the market. Hello, Giuseppe. Happy to see you here, man. If you have any questions, ask now. But to answer your question, Nico, Spring is a powerful framework. You should invest your time in that if you can, because the market is still very hot with Spring. And Quarkus is gaining space, but still Spring is stronger than Quarkus. Okay, so Giuseppe, I think you are from Italy by reading your name. Am I correct? If I'm correct, you can say yes. But I'm pretty sure you're from Italy. I don't know where are you now, but I think you're Italian. Okay, so guys, if you don't have any further questions, I'm going to start the presentation, okay? So if you have any question, just ask now. Otherwise, I'm going to start the presentation, okay? Okay, guys, so if I don't see... okay, Nico, my native place is Brazil. Okay, I see more questions here. Okay, Giuseppe, so you live in France. Awesome. I'm going to speak in the J conference on next Tuesday. So I will remind you all on social medias and by mail. Okay, so we have 9 people, so I think we are good to start. I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen, guys? Say yes if you can. Can you see my screen? If I see a yes in the chat, can you say yes if you are seeing? Okay, perfect. So let's get started. So we're gonna be talking about the 10 golden life lessons that will boost your software development career success. If you read the book, The Golden Lessons, you're gonna understand that most of the lessons here are there, and those lessons are highly connected with highly successful people in the world. And if you start reading more books about personal development, or even if you read biographies, you're gonna connect the dots, and you're gonna realize that those lessons are true for people who want to achieve really high in their career, in their life, And even if you want to get unstuck in your career, it's going to be very useful for you to go to a whole new level in your career, okay? So I'm going to give you a brief of what we're going to be discussing here. We're going to be talking about dreaming big. Why not you? Why can't you dream big? So dreaming big, first thing you have to realize what you want the most. I know that sometimes we think we can't achieve big dreams, but those are only limitations we have in our own minds. So we can dream big and we can achieve really big goals if we believe we can. So we're going to be discussing about that. We're going to be talking about take responsibility. Sometimes we say, oh, but I have no money, but I have no time. Oh, but I have to stay with my family. And then we say that we have to do many things, and then we don't take action to what we need to do to go to another level in our career or even in our personal lives. Have a mentor. Why have a mentor is so important? Because mentor have experience and they will tell you what path to take, what path to go to grow more quickly. Another very important thing is to hack your health, because without health we can't do anything. And if you are the richest person in the cemetery, it's like nothing, right? So it means that you can work very hard, you can work smart and hard, but if your health is really poor, you're gonna die quickly, right? So it's very important to hack your health, have focus. I see many developers start trying to learn everything. At the same time, what happens is that they get frustrated and they learn nothing. Track your goals. We have to find a way to track our goals in an effective way. Otherwise, we feel like we're not progressing, we're not doing anything to grow. Another important thing is to work smart and hard, which means that if you work hard, it's not enough. If you work smart, it's not enough as well. I'm going to go deep into that later. Optimize your time. What does that mean? It means that we should be listening to audiobooks or listening to podcasts so that we can optimize our mindset to achieve bigger things. Deliberate practicing. This is the technique best in the world, the very best in the world do. So they actually take action daily to improve their skills and to sharpen their skills to go to a really high level. And the last one is take action, because otherwise none of those points will make any sense, okay? So the first point is to dream big. So how can you find out what's your dream? You can reflect about yourself. So you can think what would be amazing in your life. Maybe you can write it down. You can look to amazing pictures from people you admire, and then you can have a role model. So you can basically put this person you really admire in one document, and you can learn what are the traits of this person that you admire. And then you can have your dreams based on the person you admire. It's very important to have a role model so that you can have a direction, or so that you can have a more clear dream. Because if you admire this person, certainly you want to do something that's similar to this person you admire. And once you reflect about yourself and you figure out what you want, then you can work on that. For example, in our software development career, your dream could be work on Google or work on Facebook, Amazon, or Microsoft, or all those big companies. Or maybe it is to create a business. Maybe you want to create an app that will change other people's lives. Or you want to be a reference developer. You want to be giving talks to amazing conferences. Or you want to be giving a course, or you want to write a book. All of those things might be your dream. And then you can ask yourself, why not you? I know that we have several limitations, maybe because of things that happened with us in the past. But our mission is to overcome our own limitations and really believe that we can do and we can achieve our dreams. Because if we don't believe we can achieve our dreams, we won't do anything. We won't do the work, right? Because what's the point? If you don't believe you can get there, what's the point of doing the hard work? There's no point. So the first step is to realize what's your dream. And you can imagine yourself how it would be if you are living your dream. Because if you imagine yourself having success, you are far more likely to pursue your dream. Because when we create these mental images in our minds, we can take action more easily to achieve our big dreams. So we can reflect about ourselves to realize what is our biggest dreams. And one other powerful thing is to write down about your dreams. Because if your dream is only in your mind, it's very difficult to make it concrete. So you can write it down. If your dream is to work on Google, write it down. I want to work on Google. Or if you want to work abroad, you can say, I want to work abroad. The more specific you can be, the better. Let's suppose you want to work abroad. You can say, I want to work in this country. And then you write it down. Because if you do that, you are saying to yourself that is possible. And also, your mind will come up with solutions or with actions that you can take to get there. So this is highly important to write down about your dreams. And like I said, be specific, because a dream that is very generic doesn't mean much. So you can be really specific. Let's suppose you want to work on Google in the Silicon Valley, and you want to be living there, and you want a remote job. I don't know. You have to be specific. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, you don't have clarity to take the necessary actions to get to where you want. And don't be afraid of being ambitious. If you have big dreams, like if you want to be millionaire, if you want to be billionaire, it doesn't matter. Write it down. And once you do that, your mind will come up with answers to get to where you want. So if you think you can get there, if you really believe that you can get there, you can get there. So if you write it down, you're going to be saying to your subconscious mind that you can get there. So that's a very important step. Write it down about your dreams. If you can do it now, do it now. Okay, take responsibility. Why is that so important? Because we usually blame external factors, because it's very easy to do that, right? Sometimes we say, oh, but I don't have money. Oh, but I don't have time because I have to stay with my family. Or, oh, I work 12 hours a day. So if you are blaming external factors, what's happening is that you're giving away your power, which means that you can't do anything. So it's better you to take this power back and to say, okay, this is my fault. How can I improve that? Instead of blaming external factors, because it's very easy to say, oh, it's my boss' fault, or it's my coworker's fault. I don't know. You can put the blame in anyone, and then what happens is that you can't do anything. You can't take any action, because if it's someone else, you won't change this someone else. You won't change external factors. So be careful with that. When you blame something external, it's actually one excuse. It's one story that you are telling yourself to not take action, because maybe you are afraid of taking action. And the best thing is to just face your fear. So if you are blaming your boss that you're not getting a promotion, find it out, talk to your boss, figure things out. There's always a way, but don't blame your boss, blame yourself. Because if you blame yourself, you can take many actions to overcome the situation. Maybe you could have a one-to-one meeting with your boss and talk to him or her about your situation and figure things out. And if you try that and if nothing happens, then get a new job. So it's always you who is responsible for you. So take responsibility. And don't complain if the situation is not ideal. Instead, think about solutions. Because if you're complaining about problems, what you're gonna do? You're gonna make the problem bigger, and yeah, it's gonna be impossible for you with time to overcome this problem. So think of a way you can overcome the situation you're going through now, so that you can achieve amazing things. Okay, so be solution oriented instead of problem oriented. I see many people saying a lot of negative things about themselves. So what happened is that they program themselves for failure, and they will never achieve high level of success programming their minds for failure. If you say a lot of negative things every day, it's just your beliefs. So it's basically what you believe that you are going to say every day. So watch out with your words. If you say many negative things every day, it's because you don't you don't believe that you can achieve big things. And when you say a lot of negative things every day, you program yourself for failure. So be careful with that. Any questions so far, guys? If you have any questions, put your questions on the chat, because in the end of this presentation, I'm going to address all the questions, okay? I want to go through the questions now, but if you have any questions about taking action or dreaming big, put in the chat, because I'm going to read it in the end of this presentation, okay? So, yeah, can do that. Number 3, have a mentor. So why it's so important to have a mentor? Because a mentor will guide you to go to the right direction, to go to an optimized direction where you're going to grow exponentially. So instead of wasting a lot of years to get promoted, to go abroad, to go to another level in your career, you can have a mentor who will massively help you to grow exponentially and to have amazing results. So I had a mentor myself. I still have a mentor, and he helped me massively in my career. And well, nowadays I can give talks, I can get job abroad, I can write articles, I wrote a book. So I did many things that with the help of my mentor, I could achieve them far more easily. And my mind expanded exponentially when I had the help of my mentor. So this is the power of having a mentor. Sometimes you save 15 years of your time, which is like almost a life, right? When we have a mentor, we can save this amount of time if we put the work and if we believe. And even if we don't believe very much, mentors help us to get this confidence. So it has a huge value. And we grow exponentially because a mentor went through many challenges, and he or she will know how to guide you in those difficult challenges. For example, giving a talk is not something easy. There are some researches um, saying that the number one fear from people is to give is public speaking. So people are more afraid to give talks than die, which is a big deal, right? Uh, and it's not easy at all to give a talk. You expose yourself, and you you get nervous sometimes, but it's very worth it, right? Because if you're giving a talk, you can help others to achieve more in their lives, and you can empower other people. So it gives you a lot of power to be able to be a public speaker. Okay, so hack your health. Like I said before, we can work a lot, we can achieve high level of success, but if we don't have health, we can't do anything. And it's not that difficult to be healthy, guys. So to be healthy, we can do simple things. Like, we don't need to do that kind of crazy diets where we don't eat any carbohydrate. Instead, we can have a reasonable nutrition. We can have a balanced nutrition. We can do exercises at least 3 times a week. So, for example, you don't need even to go to the gym. If you prefer to do dancing, if you prefer to play football or play volleyball or to do a martial art, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do exercise at least 3 times a day, or 3 times a week, and then you're gonna get healthier by doing that. So I know that many people find very boring to go to the gym, but you can just find out what is a pleasure for you to do, and there are many options. Like I said, you can do martial art you enjoy, you can dance, you can play some kind of sport. All of those actions will bring you a lot of benefits. And if you do exercises, you will be also sharper as a software engineer. So if you run, for example, if you do aerobic exercises, you're going to be killing stressful cells in your brain, and then you're going to be able to think more quickly to solve complex problems, because, as you know, as software developers, we have to be solving complex problems all the time. So it's very important to do exercises, because you're going to be sharper as a software engineer, you're going to live longer, and you're going to have more energy. So there's only good things about it, okay? Another very important point, track your goals. So why tracking your goals is so important? It's because if we don't track our goals, it seems we're not having progress. So let's suppose you want to create a YouTube channel, or you want to write a book. If you don't have a schedule for your actions, you'll never be able to write a book. You can even write your book, but it's going to be far more difficult, because a book is not something that you build overnight. It's something that takes time. So you have to work on a book consistently. You can decide, okay, in this book, I'm going to work half an hour a day, or you're going to decide that you're going to work 1 hour a day. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is for you to have consistency. And for example, if you decided that you're going to be working in your book every day 1 hour, then you stick to your schedule, and you can even use the powerful technique Pomodoro, where you can track down your goals, and you can know exactly what you're doing, and you can track down your progress. You can also use Trello. You can plan out your week by writing what actions you're going to take during the whole week. It's a very good strategy to plan out our week beforehand, because if we do that, we know exactly what to do, and we spend less willpower to decide what we're gonna do in the day. So if we decide beforehand what to do, we use less willpower so that we can get more done, so that we can be more focused. I can give you one example of willpower use. So Steve Jobs, you might have realized that he used only one cloth, right? Only the black T-shirt and the jeans, trousers, and a Nike shoe, right? So he was doing that for a reason, because when we have to decide what clothes to wear, we use willpower. And what he was doing, he was saving willpower for Apple, for example, so that he could make better decisions. Because if he was using willpower to choose what clothes he was going to wear, it would be more difficult for him to make good decisions for Apple. We don't need to take this willpower subject at that level, but it's something to consider. Like if you have a lot of clothes in your wardrobe, why don't you simplify that? Like remove all the complexity from your wardrobe so that we can have more willpower for the company you work for, or for the decisions you're going to make every day. Because if you have a lot of complexity, even in your wardrobe, it's going to be more difficult for you to make better decisions. So keep that in mind. You can use whiteboard. So whiteboard is basically a physical whiteboard where you can put all the actions you're going to take during the week. And if you can do that, it helps you with focus. And focus is highly important to be productive. And when we get our goals done, guys, our body releases good hormones, and we can get more done. So our body releases dopamine, which is the motivation hormone. So when we get things done, dopamine is released, and then we get a boost to do more. So that's why it's so important to track down your goals. So for example, if you have the goal of studying some technology a half an hour, if you check that, you done your task, our bodies will release dopamine, which will motivate us to do more. So this is very important. That's why tracking down your goals is crucial, because on that way you feel that you're having progress. If you don't track down your progress, what's going to happen, what's more likely to happen, is that you're going to do a lot of things, but after some time you're going to get demotivated and you're going to stop. Then you're going to break out the consistency cycle, and then you can't do much, because big things are built over time. It's not overnight, right? Very connected to what we discussed now, have focus. Why have focus? Well, it's very important, even more in our software development career, because there are so many technologies out there that we really don't know where to start, right? There are so many languages. There are Python, there is Java, there is Golang, there is C#, there is Kotlin, there is Swift. So there is a vast range of programming languages, and inside those languages there are many OOP concepts, there are design patterns, there are clean code concepts. Other than that, there is front end, there is JavaScript, there is React, there is Angular, there is automation, there is DevOps, there is cloud providers. So there's a vast range of technologies. Other than that, there is databases, there is artificial intelligence, there is blockchain. So you can just like, it's just so much, right? And if we don't have a focus, what happens is that we can't do much. We can't grow quickly. If we focus in everything, what happens is that we have slow growth. Or what is even more likely to happen is that we get demotivated and frustrated because there are so many things that it's humanly is impossible unless you clone yourself in different in many like in many clones. Maybe you're gonna be able to learn so all these vast range of technologies, but otherwise we can't, right? It's humanly impossible. So that's why it's so important to have focus, because when you have focus, you can be really good at one thing, right? But also be careful with this one thing, because for example, let's suppose you are a Java developer. If you focus only on Java, if you be really good on Java, it's gonna be hard to work on companies nowadays, because companies are adopting microservices. So you're gonna be dealing with containers. You're gonna be dealing with Jenkins. You're gonna be dealing with Kubernetes. You're gonna be dealing with front end, or maybe with other languages, with Python or with Golang or Kotlin. I don't know, any language. So nowadays, it's dangerous to be really good at one thing. Instead, you should be strategic. You can be really good, you can be a Java specialist, but learn the other things enough so that you can solve problems with those tools, because that's how the market is nowadays. So if you're only good on Java, it's gonna be hard for you. So be strategic instead. Be really good in Java, be really good in clean code, be really good with design patterns, create amazing code, but also remember to learn about DevOps, to learn about containers, to learn about AWS, for example, which is the strongest cloud provider in the market, and learn the fundamentals of networks or even algorithms. All of those things will help you in your career, because most of the companies still do the whiteboard test, where you have to write down an algorithm, and they also test you a lot about architecture, about cloud architecture. So that's why it's dangerous to focus only on one thing. So be careful with that. You can also use the just-in-time learning technique. Well, it's very it's normal in our jobs to start working with a new technology, right? And we can also use the just-in-time learning technique. But like I said before, for achieving big things, it takes time. And learning a new technology is a big thing, right? It's not a simple thing. For example, to learn Kubernetes, it will take time. So don't have the illusion that, oh, I'm gonna learn Kubernetes really quickly. No, it will take time. You're gonna have to be consistent on your learning. The same thing is valid for AWS, for cloud providers. It will take some time because they are huge. I think there are, for example, more than 200 services in AWS, so it's huge. So it will take time, it will take effort. Don't fall into the illusion that, oh, I'm a senior developer, I can learn everything quickly. That's not the truth, because new technologies, new paradigms will take time to learn. So the best strategy is to adopt some kind of plan where you can create useful projects, or you can study those technologies in a consistently, so that you can really master them. Otherwise, if you think you're gonna learn them overnight, it won't happen. What's gonna happen is that you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get demotivated, And you're going to think that, oh, only gifted people can learn those things. And that's not true. You have to put the work to learn, okay? And of course, I have a special gift for you guys, so stay tuned for more, because I'm going to give you a gift in the end of this talk, okay? So prepare your questions. Send the questions right away. If you have any questions about focus, about health, about any of the subjects I mentioned here, feel free to ask the question. I'm going to read them in the end of this talk. So send your questions so that I can answer you, okay? And be here to get the special gift. Work smart and hard. So why that? Why we have to work smart and hard? Because working only smart, it's a waste of time. Let's suppose you want to learn blockchain, but you are a Java developer. And you're not planning on going the blockchain career path. What you're going to do, you're slowing your growth down. Because if you're not using blockchain for anything, what's the point of using your most valuable asset, that is your time, to learn something that you'll never use in your life? It's the same thing when people want to learn languages that won't bring them any benefit. That's a huge waste of time, unless it's like something that makes you really, really happy. Maybe that could be an exception, because if it's something that makes you really, really happy, it might give you energy to do other things that will help you in your career. But otherwise, it's not worth it. Like, why would you invest your most valuable asset, that is your time, to learn blockchain or artificial intelligence? It's something that's not related to the Java developer career. So you would be probably wasting your time, which nowadays is much more valuable to know about DevOps tools, to know about containers, to know about microservices, to know about event-driven architecture, to know about how to create a flexible code, So all of those things would help you far more in your career, instead of investing your time in those things that won't bring you any value. Use your time very wisely. Otherwise, you're gonna be slowing yourself down. And work only smart. That means doing the right thing, but not doing it enough. You're gonna be wasting your time, because, like I said, big things don't happen overnight. It takes effort. It takes time. So if you are working only smart, what will happen is that you won't have any result, because without consistency, you can't achieve big things. Success doesn't happen overnight, right? People who are highly successful, we have the impression that they are highly successful and that it happened overnight. But for success to happen overnight, they worked for around, like, in statistics, they worked for around more than 15 years, really hard. So for success to happen overnight, it takes 15 years of work or more than that, okay? But I'm saying about big level of success. So we don't need to like put so much time to learn technology. I'm just giving you an example, right? But if you work smart and hard at the same time, then it's perfect, because you are working on the right things for your career, and you are working on that consistently, which makes you like far more prepared, and it's far more likely that you're gonna master technologies, and that you're gonna feel more confident to take on new jobs, and to get better salaries in your career, to move abroad, or to work on Google, or to work on big things. So if you have consistent action, you get more confident and you get better. Optimize your time. Why it's so important? It's because, for example, before the pandemic, before COVID, we used to commute to work, right? And how much time did we spend on the commuting? Probably, in average, more than 2 hours a day, right? But what about if we convert those 2 hours to listen an audiobook or to listen to a podcast? We would be investing more than 600 hours of education, which would boost us to achieve big things, right? And there's so much wisdom in books, guys. When I started listening to audiobooks, my mind expanded so much that I can see the world in a totally different way nowadays. So what I've done, I basically used this dead time I had when I was commuting to work. So instead of just commuting and not using this time for anything, I was listening to audiobooks, and I could read around, I think, more than 100 books in 3 years, in around 3 years, which makes me far more prepared for new challenges, and it expands my mind, so it makes me more prepared to get what I want. And you can use this same strategy as I used. For example, I use the same strategy when I go to the gym. I like to go to the gym, so my exercise is to go to the gym. So when it was opened, of course, nowadays not opened anymore. It will open soon, but it's not. I used to listen to audiobooks while I was doing my exercises, because we don't need a lot of brain power to do exercises, right? So I was training my body, and I was also training my mind, which is, of course, the most powerful part of ourselves. And you can even optimize your time with money. So, for example, let's suppose you don't have any time to clean your house, you can hire someone to do that. Or if you don't have time to, let's suppose you wrote a book and you don't have time to create the design of your book, you can pay someone else to do that. So that would be a good strategy for optimizing your time. You would optimize your time, you would be helping someone else to do their job, and you would be having something with far more quality than you would do, because you are not a designer, so you are software engineer. So we don't have the same skills as someone who is a designer, for example. So we can make those wise choices. There is another really powerful quote from Warren Buffett. I know that if you hear this quote for the first time, it's going to be a little bit difficult to absorb that. But the quote is basically that we should focus on the value instead of the cost. So sometimes we focus on the cost of things. And what happens is that we forget about the value, we forget about the return on investment. So, for example, let's suppose you see a book that costs around $30, I don't know, and it's a book that might change your life. And then if you ask for the price and you forget about the value of the book, you might say no for the book, because in your mind, if you only see the price, you can't see the value of the book, right? And this is the same for anything, for mentorships, for courses, for, I don't know, anything you can imagine, for travelings, everything there is a value. So train your mind to see the value instead of the cost. Okay? Discover the power of deliberate practicing. So like I said before, the very best in the world use this technique of deliberate practicing to sharpening their skills. I will give you a very obvious example. Slash, the guitarist from Guns N' Roses, he's one of the best guitarists in the world. It's not by coincidence. He trains and he uses the deliberate practicing technique, which means that he plays over and over again the same pattern in his guitar, and he does that every day, and he trains. He practices the moves that is sometimes his weaknesses. So if you know what action you should take to improve in a certain technique, you can get to another whole level. And they do that consistently. So the key for deliberate practicing is to take strategic actions towards what you want to become better consistently. So the key word here is consistency. Because if you do that only one day, only 1 week, it won't matter. But if you do that consistently during the years, you're going to be far better. You're going to be a sharp software engineer. And you're going to be prepared for interviews. You're going to be prepared for challenges in your job. And you will be you'll be used to be out of your comfort zone, which is amazing. It gives you an amazing power. And the 10th lesson is to take action, because if you don't take action, all of those lessons are just useless. So based on all the lessons we discussed here, you can take strategic actions towards your objectives. Sometimes in life, you're going to have opportunities where you don't feel prepared at all to face them. And the truth is that the most successful people also didn't feel prepared when they had a challenge to overcome. I can give you an example for myself. When I was starting giving talks, I started giving talks here in Brazil, and then I expanded bit by bit. And then once you get more visibility, once you build your reputation, you get opportunities. And I got an opportunity to give a talk in Oracle Code 1. And honestly, I didn't feel prepared to give a talk, maybe in the strongest conference in the world. But what I've done, I faced the challenge anyway, because I know that if I hadn't faced this challenge, I wouldn't get I wouldn't achieve my goals, right? So it's very important, guys. If you have an opportunity to get a promotion or to go to a better job, you can take it, because even if you don't feel prepared, you can figure it out in the middle, on the way. You can figure it out, right? Because if you don't take any risk, you will lose the chances of optimizing your potential. And in the end, it's far more risky to not take any risk. So sometimes you have the illusion that, oh, if I stay in this job forever, I'm going to stay secure forever. But it's not like this, right? Because tomorrow, your boss can come to your desk and can say, man, we don't need you anymore. Goodbye. And then what happens is that you were in the illusion that you were secure, but nobody is secure. So it's far more risky to not take any risk, because let's suppose you are fired tomorrow and you are comfortable in your position. What you're going to do, you're going to feel like useless, because if you're not facing the market right now, if you're not getting up to date with technologies, the market will be very hard. It will be very hard to get a new job. So it's very important to stay consistently out of your comfort zone, to be studying new things, to be creating new projects, to be sharpening your skills consistently. And even if you feel frustrated, you persist until you make it work. Because programming, we know it's not easy, right? It takes work. We get frustrated. We have to figure out what is the error. And we have to spend hours. We have to spend a lot of time. We have to put a lot of effort to make things work and to learn new technologies. So programming is not easy, right? So that's why it's so important to have consistent actions to learn new technologies and to not have the illusion that we are secure where we are, because that's not true, right? Because things can happen all of a sudden. So it's far better if we are prepared for the challenges with consistent actions, without excuses, taking responsibility and saying, okay, it is my fault. I assume that I will take action to overcome the situation. So that's the best. Kind of thought we can have. Okay. So let's recap here, guys. Dream big. Why not you? So you can write it down. You can think what would be amazing for your life, and why not you? Just write it down and focus on that. Take responsibility. Don't blame others. Don't blame external factors, because if you're doing that, you are a victim. You're not a leader, right? And there are many victims. Like, I see that daily. I see people saying, oh, but I can't. Oh, because I don't have time. Oh, there's too much to do. Oh, I have no money. Oh, I didn't have a good enough education. There's a lot of stories, right? And if you are telling these kind of stories, you are a victim. You're not a leader. So take responsibility and take action. Blame yourself instead, because if you take responsibility, you have the power back. Have a mentor. Look for a mentor to grow exponentially, because a mentor will guide you to a path where you can grow far more quickly. Hack your health, do exercises regularly, have a good nutrition. You don't need to have a crazy diet, but you should eat with a reasonable nutrition, right? Have focus. This is very important with technology, because if we try to learn everything, what will happen is that we're going to get frustrated, demotivated, and we won't do anything. We're going to procrastinate. Only bad things will happen. And if you have focus instead, you're going to grow more quickly. You're going to see progress. You're going to see results, right? So have focus. Track your goals. You can use Pomodoro. Pomodoro is a powerful technique, which basically is that you have a timer. You put this timer, you focus, you don't see anything else. You don't see your social media. You don't see anything. You do your work, right? Work smart and hard, because if you work only smart, you don't achieve big things. And if you work only hard, it doesn't make any sense, because you might be studying, working hard on learning blockchain or learning artificial intelligence, but this won't take you anywhere in your career. So work smart. That means that working something that makes sense for your career. Work hard, work consistently in something that makes sense for you. Optimize your time. Don't waste your time with commuting or by taking lines, because if you don't value your time, your most valuable asset, it's very hard to get a high level of success, right? So optimize your time, listen to audiobooks. There are several powerful audiobooks that might change your life. There are also podcasts that you can learn a lot. So optimize your time, have education where you would be wasting your time. So instead of wasting your time, listen to a powerful audiobook and change your mindset and be stronger to face new challenges. Deliberate practicing. This is a technique that the best in the world use, that they use. And For example, for programming, if you want to become really good in design patterns, maybe you can create one design pattern a day. Maybe you can work on this design pattern, on design patterns exclusively every day 1 hour. If you do that, you're gonna be mastering them, and then you can change your focus. Then you can change to something else. So deliberate practicing is nothing more than strategic action towards your skill mastery. So if you're doing that consistently, then you can achieve mastery. And then take action. So because if you're not taking action, nothing that I said here matters. It's just a waste of time, because action execution is always king. If you don't do anything, if you listen to everything I said here but take no action, is the same as nothing, right? So take action, because this will change it will take your career to a whole new level, and it will make you stronger, more prepared for challenges, and that's it. Action is the key. But of course, if you take foolish actions that will take you nowhere, then it makes no sense. But if you have those strategies in mind, if you take strategic actions towards your goals, then you get results. Otherwise, you have no results, right? If everything is in your mind, it's the same as nothing. So take action. Okay? So that's it, guys. I'm gonna give you the gift. So I'm gonna give you the low-hanging Java challenges book. I will send the link for you. Okay? And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen just a minute. Stop screen, and that's it. So guys, I can see that you have some questions here. And amazing. I like to see your questions, and I will also offer you guys another special gift. And I had this idea in the last week, and I'm preparing something special for you guys, but I want only the software engineers who are serious about going to the next level. So there is a symbolic price on the workshop. So basically, I'm preparing a workshop for you. It's a special content for you to help you to overcome your career obstacles. So I'm gonna send to you a link here from PayPal. So like I said, it's almost nothing. It's like €5, and we're gonna have 3 hours of workshop with me. You're gonna have the option to talk with me more directly. I will also prepare a one-to-one talk with the ones who are participating in this workshop. So, and it's very hard to me, guys, to reserve a time to create a webinar or to create a workshop. So it won't happen very often. And like I said, if you are serious to take your career to the next level, highly recommend you to enroll in this workshop. I'm gonna share the link with you guys. So, and in the meantime, send your questions. I see some questions here. I'm gonna send the link. So if you want to participate in the workshop, access this link. Let me know if you can access that, and let me know if you can make the investment for the workshop. Like I said, it's symbolic price, like almost nothing. And I'm gonna give you the Golden Lessons book that is already more than €5. And yeah, you're gonna like I'm gonna prepare something special for you in this workshop. So access this link, and you can do the investment. Now I'm gonna answer the questions. So Giuseppe asks here, how did you find your mentor? What did you discuss with him? Very good question, Giuseppe. So I found my mentor in a conference in Brazil. It's called the Developer Conference. And I wasn't expecting to have a mentor. I didn't even know that this was possible. But then I saw a speaker who is a great reference to me, is someone that I really admire. And in this Java talk, he said that he had a mentoring program. When he said, it wasn't very clear what he meant exactly. But then I understood that he was a mentor. And then I got the link he shared in the conference. I contacted him after some time, and then everything, like my career went sky high. So it went like amazing things happened in such a short period of time that I could realize the power of having a mentor. So what I discussed with him, I discussed what were my dreams and what I wanted to achieve. So that's the very first thing when you enter in a mentorship program. You discuss, okay, what are my objectives and where I want to go, what I want to achieve. And then once you have this clarity in your mind, then you can take strategic actions to get where you want. So that's basically the discussion we have in the initial conversation with a mentor. And then after that, we take action to get where we want, right? Because without action, like ideas are useless. The ideas have no value if they are only in our minds. We have to take action, okay? So if that answers your question, Giuseppe, let me know. I'm gonna answer the other questions. How to improve the just-in-time learning technique when you are constantly have to deal with timelines and there is not enough time to learn into deeply? Very good question, suboptimal. And I would say that the key for that is to be constantly learning, because if you're constantly learning fundamentals, what's going to happen is that you can learn something that is different far more quickly. I want to give you an example. Let's suppose you have to learn. Let's suppose you are studying AWS at home. You are practicing. You have your own project in AWS. You know how to deploy your application. You know how to containerize your Java application. You know how to deploy your Java application into the cloud. Okay? Let's suppose you know everything like this. And in your job, all of a sudden they say, oh, we're going to change our cloud provider to Google Cloud. It's not AWS anymore. So it's something new, right? But you know already the fundamentals in AWS. What's going to happen is that your learning curve will be shorter. You're going to learn JCP far more quickly. So if you learn those paradigms, if you learn those big technologies that do one thing, you can learn others that are similar far more quickly. Another example, if you know Java very deeply, if you are learning Python, for example, you're going to learn it more quickly because you know the fundamentals of object-oriented programming. You know the fundamentals of unit testing. You know the fundamentals of programming. Therefore, you can learn it more quickly, right? So the thing that would be very difficult is, for example, let's suppose your company is adopting event-driven architecture, and you never seen that in your life. So if you never seen that in your life and you have no idea about what is this concept, then it's far more difficult to know what to do and to learn this technique. It will take you more time because you have no idea what is this, right? So that's why it's so crucial to stay up to date with technologies. So if you have an idea about event-driven architecture, if you know a little bit of Kafka, if you know a little bit of AWS, or if you know Docker, Kubernetes, this will help you. Because if you don't know anything about those technologies, what will happen is that in your job, your life will be very difficult. So that's why it's very important to train and to be prepared for challenges at work. There is a very powerful quote from, I think it's from the Samurais. I'm not sure if the quote's like this, but a warrior who trains more bleeds less in battle. So, which means that if you train yourself, if you practice your skills, you're gonna bleed less in battle, which means that you're gonna suffer less. I won't use the word suffer, but because it's a bit strong, but it's gonna be harder for you to get around at your job. If you don't know about AWS, if you don't know about containers, if you don't know anything about microservices, yes, it's gonna be hard. So it's better to train those abilities beforehand, because it's gonna be much easier for you. So instead of going right away to microservices in the market, it's a big challenge. It's very complex, right? Okay, let me know if that answers your question, suboptimal. One other question from Robinson Severo. What technologies tips to study in 200 in 2021? Well, I would say, okay, thanks, Suboptimal. Robinson, I believe that the most powerful tip I can give you is to be consistent in your learning. So if you decide to learn one technology in one day, it won't happen, right? So you can learn through documentation, you can learn through courses, you can learn through whatever you want. But in the end, the most important thing I can tell you and I can let you know is to be consistent. Because to learn AWS, it will take time. You have to be consistent to learn and to be able to do something useful with that. It's going to take time to learn about containers. It's going to take time for learning any technology. Therefore, you have to be consistent. So the most powerful tip I can give you is to be consistent, right? I say that word so many times because it's important. I know it's the key, and there will be days that you won't feel like doing what you need to do, but you do it anyway. And that's the way to really master technologies. Okay, so what Giuseppe asks here, which audiobooks I suggest to listen? Oh, there are very powerful books, Giuseppe. There is a really good book called Pragmatic Programmer. There is this book in the Audible platform from Amazon. There is a very powerful book as well, Think and Grow Rich. I'm gonna write it down here. There's of course my book. It's not an audiobook, but you can read it. There is also this very powerful book, How to Win Friends. Let me write it down. And Influence People. There is another one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There is the book Mindset. Well, there are a lot of other books. I can create a list. I can create an article with the most powerful books of my career that helped me in my career. I also created a list on my Golden Lessons book. I put a list of all the books there. So if you read the Golden Lessons book, or if you want to acquire this book, you can. Hey, hello, PH. Nice to see you here, man. And if you have any questions, let me know. So like you see here, you can read all those books. They are very powerful. I can even create a blog post with all the books that changed my mindset and that helped me out in my career. Okay, so you can also, like I said, see the book list I created. It is in the Golden Lessons book, right? So if you want, you can get the book. And like I said, guys, if you didn't get you can do the investment for the workshop. It's only €5. Like, it's a symbolic price, and I'll be giving you the Golden Lessons book. I'll be giving you 3 hours workshop. You're gonna be able to talk to me in a more direct way, and I'll also be having a one-to-one conversation with you about your career. And like I said, it's very difficult to me to reserve some time. So take advantage of this opportunity because it won't happen very much. Other questions? Let me see. Which audiobooks? Do you think Java is dead? Java is the new COBOL? No, Ali. Java is a very powerful language. I know that every single year people write down social medias and people say, oh, Java is dead. Oh, Java is dead. But honestly, I think they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know Java, and they just write things because they think it's cool to write things on the internet. So Java is strong. It's still the strongest language in the world. Python is in the top, but there is a reason for that. It's because of data science. So don't get the illusion that Python is the most popular language in the world, because it's not. For business applications, it's still Java. So Java is the strongest language in the world. And I know that every year is the same thing. A lot of people write on Twitter, oh, Java is dead, Java is dead. Every single year is the same thing. And I see on the TOB index that Java is in the top, right? So I can show you guys here the link from the most popular languages in the world, right? I can send to you now. I think that most of you guys are Java developers, and don't worry, because Java is not dead. Actually, it's very far from that. Java is an incredibly powerful language. It's used by Netflix, and Java is a robust, reliable language. It's possible to create expressive code where I can understand exactly what's happening. And it's a secure language, so it's not dead at all, right? So, and don't compare Java to COBOL. That's I know that many people write those things down on Twitter, on a lot of social medias. We can't believe in this kind of messages people write on the internet, because most of them, they have no idea what they're talking about, right? So for example, C is a similar language from Java, and they are still powerful in the market. So it's still possible to do many amazing things with C. So I wouldn't compare Java with COBOL. Instead, I would compare with C, C++. I think this is more fair. What do you think about getting Java 11 certification? I think it is worth it, Ali, the fort, because you're gonna, the first benefit, of course, is your knowledge. You're gonna be far better programmer if you get this certification, because the learning is the most valuable thing you get from a certification. It's not the paper. Well, the paper is still good to put on your CV, but the most valuable thing is your knowledge, the thing you can do with the certification, with what you know. That's the most powerful thing. If you know something and you can't do anything with that, like the example I gave, if you learn a language that you never use in your life, that's the same as nothing. Why you would be learning something to do nothing with that? So yes, Java 11 certification, it's still powerful, and it's gonna give you a deep knowledge in the programming aspect. You're gonna be able to write better code. You're gonna be able to write powerful code, flexible code. You're gonna be a better programmer, and you're gonna have even something to put on your CV that will help you. For example, if you want an opportunity in an international company, Oracle certification for sure has some value. But still, the most valuable thing is your knowledge and what you can do with this knowledge. That's the biggest thing, the most important thing, right? But in simple words, yes, Java 11 certification, totally worth it. Just don't forget which DevOps techniques, which the DevOps technologies, because this is very strong in the market. And if you don't know them, you're going to have problems in your job. Another question. Any other questions? Java is painfully verbose compared to C++, which has a succinct expressive syntax. Do you think Rust will be a good option? Rust is growing really quickly, Advocatus. So it's a good one to learn. And I also believe that if we know more than one programming language, it makes us a better software engineer. So Rust, I can see on Stack Overflow, for example, that it's the strongest tendencies that people think that is going to be strong in the future. So yes, I would say Rust is good. And any other questions, guys? You can write down your questions. If you don't have any other question, we can close for today. And if you didn't access the link of the workshop, access it now, so that we can have a better conversation, a more detailed conversation, so that we can go through your career challenges, and so that we can overcome them to make you a better software engineer and to improve your skills. Okay? Awesome. So any other questions, guys? If you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna close this session. And awesome. Great. Thanks, Giuseppe. Thanks, Advocatus. Thanks, Suboptimal. Awesome. Really happy that you are happy. So that's an amazing thing. The whole purpose of doing webinars is to help you. And if I did help you, this makes me fulfilled, right? Yeah, hugs from Winnie Bob. Nice. Thanks, PH. Thanks for coming here. Yeah, thanks, Victor. Nice. Awesome. I'm happy to know that. Thanks, Robinson. Yeah, awesome. Okay, guys. So I hope you have. Thanks, Natalia. Oh, nice to see you here. Awesome to see all you here, guys. And as always, like I always write on my articles, on my blog posts, be constantly breaking your own limits, because the only limitation we have is our own mind, right? But if we are able to break our own limits, we can get whatever we want, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks, Ali. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna close this session, and see you in the workshop. Bye.